Hey everyone! Before we begin today, we wanted to invite your feedback on the show. We'd really love to hear your thoughts on potential topics and guests, as well as what you enjoy about the show and how we can make it even better. So please email us your thoughts at info@syncreate.org and we'll follow up with you. Creativity and community are absolutely vital in challenging times. Creativity is also consistently named one of the top skills of the 21st century, particularly with the advent of AI. Welcome to Syncreate, a show where we explore the intersections between creativity, psychology, and spirituality. We believe everyone has the capacity to create. Our goal is to demystify the process and expand the boundaries of what it means to be creative. What holds us back? Why do we get stuck, and how can we fully embrace our creativity? We talk with visionaries and change makers and everyday creatives working in a wide range of fields and media, from the arts to science, business, and technology. We aim to illuminate the creative process from imagination to innovation and everything in between. I'm Melinda Rothouse, and I help individuals and organizations bring their dreams and visions to life.
Hi, and I'm Charlotte Gulick, and I'm a writer, educator, and writing coach. We are the co-authors of a book on the creative process, also called Syncreate. At Syncreate, we're here to support your creative endeavors. If you have an idea for a project or a new venture, and you're not sure how to get it off the ground, find us at syncreate.org. Our book, now available in both print and audiobook format, walks you through the stages of the creative process so you can take action on your creative goals. We offer resources, creative process tools, and coaching to help you bring your work to the world, including our monthly creativity coaching group. We'd be delighted for you to join us. Hello, everyone. It's Charlotte and Melinda from the Syncreate podcast with one of our quickies, our creative sparks where we share some ideas about the creative process. And today our topic is creative confessions.
Woohoo!
So we know that there's a lot of how-to out there with creativity. And it makes it seem like the person is just always together. They're polished. I'm making my outline or I'm composing my musical. And we actually think it's a lot rougher than that. It's a little less
Definitely.
polished.
Messy.
So messy, non-linear, confusing, frustrating. I think probably what we're trying to do here, Melinda, today is undo the montage.
Yes, I love it.
So
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes. So what we were going to talk about today is creative confessions. What is it that you do when you get a little stuck or you get a little frustrated that you do to keep yourself going? I'll go first.
Please.
Yeah. So this is I guess it's not embarrassing. But when I was writing my first novel, I gained a solid amount of weight. And I thought, perhaps it's because I'm writing about people who don't have a lot of food and I'm counterbalancing it by snacking a lot. Turns out I just eat a lot when I write. I did not.
Okay, now we know.
I thought it was a first novel dynamic. Not true. So,
Well, you know what? I bet there's a reason for that because you're using a lot of brain power and your brain actually uses a lot of energy when it's working hard. So you need more food.
I love that approach. Like I'm feeding my brain
Yes.
so that can be more creative. Well, and the thing I love to eat is ice cream. So if it's a big writing day, I'm like, it's a 3 ice cream day.
Whoa.
Fudgesicles
Okay.
are my friend. So
Yeah.
that's one of my creative confessions. I think also there's something about getting up and going and getting something that creates the break that you need. So that it's like you're still working on the thing,
Definitely.
but you're not like trying to shove it into something.
Yes. And maybe eating an ice cream is better than smoking a cigarette. I don't know. We all have our things.
I don't know either. We all have our things.
We all have our things. But
What
yeah,
about you? What do you?
sometimes we just have to get up and do something different. Like I was working yesterday and I was like getting tired of sitting there and I was like, maybe I'll go fold the laundry. Like anything to get up from this seat and stop staring at my computer, Yeah.
The laundry carrot.
The
You know you're
laundry carrot.
procrastinating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess so a creative confession that I have is um I'm a songwriter. We've talked about that a lot. And sometimes there are things that I put into my songs and I know other songwriters do this too because I've actually talked to people about it that maybe there's things you couldn't actually say in real life. It's not appropriate or whatever. But you can put it into a song in a sort of metaphorical or poetic way that's a little bit vague and maybe points in a direction, but the person you're really writing about will never know that it's actually about them or whatever it might be, and it's a way to sort of like channel certain emotions or certain stories or something that you couldn't necessarily just like say directly on a podcast. But listen to this song. See what you make of it.
Yeah.
You know?
You probably
So
think this song is about you, don't
yeah,
you?
right. Exactly. You're so vain. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, that makes me think about, you're not a revengeful kind of person. Having known you a few years now,
I'm not,
but
but I've written some nasty breakup songs. I have. I really have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
But that's part of the thing I think with your approach to your music is that you're looking for the beauty in the pain.
Yeah, of course. And these are sort of
Yeah.
the universal themes of life. I'm actually starting a songwriting group with my friend Hannah and some other folks, and we were just chatting about it yesterday. And, it's like, okay, well, what do we want to have for our first songwriting prompt? So the idea is that we form this group of songwriters that want to, just work on their songwriting. And each month we have a prompt, and it's something really random, and you have to write a song that includes like this phrase or these words or this image or whatever. And it's like, there's so many love songs out there, right? Like it's the most common theme of all music probably. So it's like, okay, well, let's try and get like past that and write about some other kinds of life experiences and maybe write from different points of view. We talk about point of view a lot in novel writing. You can certainly do that with songs too. Like put yourself in the middle of a scene or a story of someone who's got a completely different experience from you and write from that person's perspective or things like that.
Do you like those things or are they like immediately like you're like, yes, or
I like a creative challenge. It's fun. I think it's important to approach it as play. And if you can be playful about it. One thing my friend Hannah was talking about is that she's, had been in some different songwriting groups before, and they only had a week in between. So you had to write a song a week. It's really
cool.
fast. And some of the prompts were like so random. And she's like, it forces you to get out of your conscious mind. And like if you read the words or the phrase and you have some kind of immediate random association, like you just have to run with it. And maybe what comes to you is like in a hip hop genre and you end up writing a hip hop song, but you just have to do it. Like you can't overthink it. So I think it's really helpful creative prompts in all different genres to just get you out of your kind of typical ruts, that the places that you kind of often are your go-tos, and just try something completely different. Like my friend George, he grew up in England and he's a songwriter also. We collaborate together, and he submitted some things to BBC Introducing, which is a program that introduces like new music in the UK. And they have this thing where they pair up two songwriters from completely different genres and they have to cover each other's songs. And so George, his style's kind of bluesy rock singer-songwriter-y, and they paired him up with a hip-hop artist, and they had to cover each other's songs in their own style. And it was like something completely unfamiliar, or something he'd never tried to do before. And the song that came out of it is amazing. It's so good. So,
How cool.
yeah.
I'm also thinking about creative confessions. Like, it's so great that you're like, "Yeah, I like it," but the first you're like, "Oh, no."
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Like,
"Oh, I
oh.
don't know what to do with this." I
Yeah.
remember a friend giving me feedback on something, and I probably talked about it on here before, but, like, standing up from the table where we were at a coffee shop, and I'm just feeling defeated.
Mm.
Like, "Oh." And then, like, it was 2 minutes later, I was like, "Oh, I just don't know how to solve the problem yet."
Yeah.
But that 2 minutes of defeat felt total.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was like, "Forget it," "Chuck it." But having the insight to be like, "Oh, I have a problem in front of me that I don't yet know how to solve.
Yeah.
I need to give the process more time." But, like, the creative confession was like, oh, basically, I was like, Fuck it.
Yeah.
It's not worth anything."
Yeah.
Um, so another one I was gonna share, and this is like, awesome, like, manifesting idea is, before my first book was published, going into bookstores and finding where it would be and just making a little bit of space, and just doing that wherever I went, and sometimes if that meant I had to spine another author, I only did it one time. So that means, in bookstores, when the book is facing out,
Mhm.
those ones sell more.
Yeah, of course.
And if it's only the spine, so one time I spined an author, but David Guterson is doing okay.
Okay.
I don't
Where
think I
are they
impacted it
now?
now. He wrote Snow Falling on
Yeah,
Cedars. He
yeah.
wrote,
So,
the Apple one. Yeah, so I think he's okay. But Mr. Guterson, if there was that blip, that 1 year, it was probably me, and I'm sorry.
in that one bookstore in that one town.
That sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you have any other confessions?
Well, I mean, I guess confessions can come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but I was recently visiting my dear friend Anne, who I've had on the podcast. She's a wonderful artist and painter. And I was visiting her up in northern Indiana, and um I was playing her some of my new stuff, and she was giving me like good constructive feedback on my singing, on my vocal performance, because she's also a trained singer. And I was like a little pitchy in one of the songs, and I was playing, as I was playing it to her, I was like, "Oh, that's a little pitchy," and she goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Have you ever tried the straw technique?" And I was like, "No, what's that?" And apparently it's a thing among singers. Like they teach it in, conservatories and things, that you sing through a straw. And what it does is it forces you to kind of focus your breath and your tone, because you can only get a certain amount of air through a straw. So you can do scales on it. You can, hum the song that you're singing, and it just helps you with your technique and your control. And then level 2 is you get some water in a glass and you do the same thing, but into the water, and then now you're blowing bubbles in the water and you're trying to keep the bubbles consistent. So this was all new to me, and she was showing me these like videos on YouTube and Instagram about the straw technique. I was like, "Oh, this is so great. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this." So we jump in the car and we go around to the dollar store down the way. And I will say that in northern Indiana, there's a lot of Amish. So
Mm.
this is a sort of rural area near a lake, um, where it's like this, you might see like an Amish person going by with a horse and buggy. And then it's also like a big meth place. So you might see kind of like whacked out people on the side of the road. So we go to this dollar store and I'm searching around for some straws, and I finally found some like really excellent metal straws with these sort of plastic tips, perfect for the straw technique. After searching around the whole store and finding them in a very unlikely place, there was like a pack of 5 or 6 or something. And, so we go up to the register and, the lady there's a little down on her luck, but very sweet. And now I'm practicing the straw technique before I go into my recording sessions. And I'm telling you, it is a game changer.
Well, it makes me think of so many things. There you are with your straw and bubbles.
Yeah, exactly.
And the places you'll go. Who knew you would be in a dollar store in Indiana for your straw? And like now I'm wondering, like, before Melinda performs, does she need to go do straw and bubbles?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's really, I mean, just literally doing it for a couple minutes before you sing. It's night and day. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm new to the game with the straw technique, but I'm telling you, it's a good one.
Well, that is so awesome, and that leads me into our pro tip. What's your creative confession or secret pleasure? If you're willing to share with us, we'd love to hear it. Send us your confessions and feedback on the show, and we'll give away a free coaching lesson.
Yes.
So we're inviting folks to please share. We've been a little tame today. Maybe there's some other things that people are like, you know what I do in my creative dance process? We want to hear it. And what does it mean we're going to give away a free coaching session? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yes. So if you are willing to share your confessions with us, that you can keep them anonymous, or if you feel so inspired, we're happy to share some of these confessions on the air. There's an event in Austin. I don't know if they have it in other cities, but it's been going on for a long time, called Bedpost Confessions, and people get up and share their stories about their, sensual adventures. So it's a different kind of confession. These are creative confession. Maybe they're sensual too. Who knows? Creativity, sensuality, it's all connected. But we want to hear. And if you're willing to share, we'd love to hear from you, as well as your feedback on the show more broadly. And we will offer you a free 30-minute coaching session with one or the other of us, or both. So depending on how much feedback we get, we'll pull a name out of a hat, as it were, and you could be the winner.
Yeah, so you'll be entered to win a coaching session if you share your creative confession.
Yes.
I don't know why that was awesome. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Thank you for joining the Syncreate podcast today. Find and connect with us on YouTube and social media under Syncreate. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're recording today at Record ATX Studios in Austin, Texas, with Charlotte joining us from the Hudson Valley. The podcast is produced in collaboration with Mike Osborne at 14th Street Studios. Thanks so much for being with us, and see you next time.